For this lesson, I have kind of cobbled together a small document so we can begin talking about text editing in Dreamweaver, which is, to be honest with you, almost as easy as talking about text processing in, say, Microsoft Word or Corel WordPerfect. It's not that hard, and a lot of the shortcuts are the same, actually. Kind of interesting. We all know that if I click somewhere, I create an insertion point. And I think you know if I use the right or left arrow keys, I can move one letter at a time to get to a different insertion point. And sometimes it's easier than clicking to do that. If I press the up and down arrow keys, I go line to line. And again, I think most people know that one. If I add a modifier key to the mix, like say, for example, the Command key, that's Control and Windows Command on a Mac, and press the left arrow key or the right arrow key, I will move one word at a time. Not one letter, one word. If I use the up and down arrow keys with the Command or Control key, I will go to the beginning of this particular section. If I hold the Command key and press the down arrow key, I will go to the next paragraph, do it again, the next paragraph. Now, if I add the Shift key to this mix, we can do different things. For example, if I hold the Shift key down and press the right arrow key, I can begin selecting one character at a time. If I hold the Command key down and the Shift key down and press the right arrow key, I will select one word at a time. So if I come up here, say, right about there, and I hold down the Command key and the Shift key and press the down arrow key, I will select one paragraph. Do it again, I select another paragraph. The Shift key is for selection, and it makes things a whole lot easier. Now, a couple of other things. In changing the words, if I decide I want to change the word heavily, I would select it by a double click. If I go up to the word format on the pull-down menu, I have things like paragraph formats. So I could change it into a heading or something, which I wouldn't want to do. I have lists. I have HTML styles. I could do a bold, italic, or an underline, or a strike through. Now, we can use formatting of text to translate to emotion in something. Do something for me. Here's a thought experiment. Say the word wow. Just say the word wow. Now put a question mark at the end of the word wow and say it again. Wow. Put an exclamation point in front of the word wow, and it's wow. We can also do the same thing with things like italics. For example, if I come over here and italicize the word heavily, what that does to most people, we're not robots, but most people, we call that a mental raise of voice. Be aware that the CSS for these layouts is heavily commented. So many people ask me, how do you get emotion on a piece of paper? You do it by formatting it. That's how you do it. So we can format the text. We can change what it says. If we come down to our properties panel, now if you don't have it open, you can go to the word window. We can change the format here too. We can bold italicize here. We can create lists, unordered or ordered. We can do something like remove or add block quotes. We have a lot of different ways we can control the text. Now, we've already talked about changing things like the font itself. What I want to say about that is just this one thing. Think of a font as a design element in your website. When you're looking at all the thousands and thousands of different fonts that are out there, which one psychologically works best with what you're trying to say? That can really help you. Now, if you'll notice down here, I call this the breadcrumb trail. Notice the P right here? That's telling me I'm in a paragraph. If I click here, watch what happens. It selects the section that I'm in. This selects the content, which is actually an article. Here's the container, which is like everything. This is like a breadcrumb trail, which helps you get from point to point. Now, if we go up here, click on the lighthouse up here. This area down here I want to mention. Let me put something in here. Andy's emotional lighthouse image. What is ALT text? It's alternate text. There are a couple of reasons why I'm doing this. Number one, I need to. I have to. My site needs to be handicap standard approved, and you have to use alt text because people who are visually impaired will hover over an image and it will read those words to them. But I have another reason for doing that. It's more commercial. Those words are used heavily by search engines to basically allow you to get higher up in the order. They're going to use those words. So let's say my site is called The Emotional Lighthouse, and everything is about emotion. What I want to do in my alt statements is use words that when read will make sense to somebody who is visually impaired and at the same time be used by the SEO searchers to help rate my site. Text processing, we're not done. Actually, we're just getting started. But there's a lot of different ways that we can work with the text, and as we move on and learn more things, there are a lot of ways that we can control the text to guarantee it will look exactly the same on our site and any other site that loads it.